All right. Well, thank you for allowing me to be here again. Some of you I may have seen in June in Barcelona. Now I'm able to present in a little bit more relaxed mode because I'm not doing it in Spanish, but English. With me is Fernando Alcalá, who is a digital transformation manager at Data4. And we want to present to you how we were able to digitize in a more efficient way the facility management workflow within Data4 by the help of software of Planon. So a little bit about Data4. For those of you that don't know it, it's a data center company in Europe. Fernando is located in Madrid, and they have 2 data centers there, which are currently managed and onboarded in Planon. They have 4,000 assets that they manage there, and about 80 technicians that use external technicians that use mobile field services application to work on a day-to-day basis and see the tickets that are coming in. And it's a work in progress because that's the key of this story of the use case that we're presenting, is that it's constantly a growing portfolio with a lot of very high set goals to grow. And so we're only getting started. We started working together about 1.5 years ago. And so we want to share the case of how are you able to put a dot on the horizon and have a focus on it as a facility manager without losing oversight of where you are in the process of onboarding and digitizing your portfolio. So the planning is to have 4 facility managers per country. As of next month, we're onboarding not only Spain, but also France and Italy. To have 30 data centers in Europe, some of which are still under construction or not even started. And in total to have the management of 40,000 assets in the system. So this whole idea, it came about starting with a couple of challenges that we can all see in the business, us as facility managers, as researchers in FM, which is kind of pointing 3 main players around a building. So that's building owners, building occupiers, and service providers. And each 3 of those players all see the same challenges at the moment. So we see that we have more regulations around sustainability. How are we going to lower our footprint of our buildings? And we have objectives of achieving our ESG ambitions and goals. Then we also have to ensure business resilience. Specifically for a data center, you need to be able to foresee what's going to happen with your portfolio and act appropriately before the storm is going to hit. So that's a really important topic. Then, of course, employee satisfaction. This is one that's not in the Data4 case, but can definitely is definitely important. Looking at talent retention, looking at how are we going to rebuild our buildings for employees to come to the office in a happy way and want to collaborate and have a different space to work. Also, to ensure compliance. We've seen in our last sessions that there's so many new laws and regulations that we could obtain as facility managers that you need a way to also have overview on all of that and perhaps digitize it so that you can work more efficiently. Reduce cost, of course. We've all seen probably or are afraid to see our next bill coming in from energy, gas, water due to the European politics at the moment. So how can we reduce cost? And not only in a literal sense, but also where are you leaking money in a place that you might even, that you're not aware of at the moment, that you're actually leaking money there, that you can gain something from it. And also increase productivity. I think it speaks for itself. It's always nice if you can do a task in less time than you're doing at the moment. So that leaves more time for a fun life next to it, or to maybe focus more on the future. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to improve? So the 3 objectives that are going to hit Data4 are mainly, at the moment, evolved around the 3 topics: ensure business resilience, reduce cost, and increase productivity of the technicians and facility managers. So that said, let's see how it started.
Okay, can you hear me? Yeah. Thank you for the introduction, Julia. As she said, I'm part of the digital transformation journey of Data4. And I wanted to say why we wanted a central system. Good facility management is vital for Data4. It's the core business. We build and we operate data centers for our customers. And we deliver reliable, also we deliver secure and green facilities for our customers. And for all of that, we need loads of assets, loads of equipment. We need to be in control of that information. We need to control it. So before Planon, we used to have different systems. Each maintenance service provider would have their own system. So that resulted in no benchmarking at all. So you couldn't compare across countries the information, and it was a little bit useless. Then, with Planon, we want to seek one centralized system for the facility management for all countries. With that, we can start standardizing the information on a group level, and then start defining at group level the families and equipment, the naming convention, and so on. So having a central system will result in an asset management in source inside the company. So we have the data, we trust the data, and we can make a decision based on this data. We own it.
All right, so what is being used at the moment within Planon? Which workflows are we supporting? At the moment, that's reactive maintenance, planned maintenance, which is the bulk of the work, asset management, stock management, and tracking the work orders for the technicians to be able to work. So the workflow, just quickly showing you, it might be logical for you, but just to show what we're supporting. So we start out with a monthly report. You start out with a monthly report. Then you have a look at the data from the last week. You prepare your report of the work that you have to do per month. Well, the technicians have to do. Then you validate that report. Then you send it out. You generate the work orders, and you send it out to the different technicians, the different companies that are providing you the service. Then, of course, you work. Then, after you finish the work, you get an approval from that can be done in the application as well. And after that, feedback to the main facility managers to say, okay, well, I'm satisfied with the work.
Exactly.
And then you archive it and start all over again next month. Now, a little bit of a view for you to see what you see every day.
Yes.
Dashboards to see which orders you have open, or to see how you're doing against your SLAs. You have your asset register, you have your stock register, and the technicians see a different view, not the back office, but the technicians work with their jobs on the line, work offline as well on it, and see where they have to be, what they have to do, what material they need. And of course, that's all feeding back to whether you maybe need new materials to work on it, so that it can be reordered, repurchased. And you see the asset data and the history, what has been done before it. So all in all, the main goal of supporting this workflow in a digitized way is that you have transparency over your whole portfolio, and that you have more efficiency in working, less paperwork, a lot faster feedback feed forward between technicians and the facility managers.
So what was our approach to do the implementation in a large implementation like this? It's 20 plus 5 buildings across countries in parallel at the same time. So we wanted to measure the maturity of the implementation. So we had to sit down, think of ideas, and then we came across a scheme or a classification to do that. And we said, okay, let's put medals to it. So let's put bronze, silver, and gold to classify the maturity level where we at in each building. So everyone can have a glance and visual feedback they can have for every campus in each country, visually in colors, where we at. So that covers one need, is to be able to have visual feedback of the implementation and the maturity of it. Other need that we wanted to cover also with this classification, it was to speed up the process of the implementation itself. So we started gathering the bare minimum that we need to operate in a building, in a data center with Planon. Okay, so we defined the minimum, which is bronze level. It's not a usual implementation. The normal implementation could be what we want to achieve in silver. Okay, but if we want to speed the process and go fast in order that the technicians or the people from the service provider, they don't use two software at the same time for long periods of times, we wanted to speed that process and be able to deliver that for all the campuses in Europe and also in each building. So what we sat down and set for the bronze is the bare minimum that we need to focus on, and then when we reach that, we will go to the next building and also try to reach bronze in the whole campuses. And when we reach bronze, then we will go for the normal implementation, have more information gathered. They can work with the tool, but we will be uploading information and have the tool more prepared. And then we have the gold medal. The gold medal is the wish, the nice to have. It's the continuous improvement. So we seek to have that when we are settled with the tool. We seek to have those nice to have. And also, well, we have to be able to tell if it's worth it to reach that point or not, but we have defined some of the things that we want to achieve or we think is nice to have. Okay, so for the return on the investment, we have made an improvement. Before, each service provider for maintenance, they took roughly 2 hours to generate the work orders and do the planning and so on. And with Planon now, it takes only 30 minutes for us. Okay, so it's quite an improvement. And now we can see that less than 5% are reactive work orders right now. So we are focusing ourselves in more preventive maintenance, but we try also to reach a low level of reactive work orders because, as we said, our facilities are important and we need to be sure that everything is working properly. So we want to lessen those numbers. And for the future, we hope to have trend analysis to be even more proactive with the machines and the assets that we have. And also SLA management to be able to analyze how our service providers are responding and everything else that are related to the LSA management. Right now, we are focused more on the operative part, but we would like to have the trend analysis and the SLA management.
Right, so the conclusion of the business case is definitely it's a work in progress because it keeps growing and you need to focus on where do I want to go and where am I now and how do I divide it in small, doable steps. Then it helps to benchmark if you have a centralized system, not only a centralized system for how you manage on your end, but also centralize it to the external providers in different countries. Because how can you compare if the service provider of company X is doing the same quality of work as company Y in another country if they provide their own system to work with? Then you have to focus on measuring with clear objectives, taking it step by step, so helping to say, okay, these are the data that I want to have in place as a minimum, then I want to go there, then I want to go there. Makes it really easy to keep track of your portfolio maturity. And saving time and ultimately cost. So at the moment, the return on investment, because we only just started, is growing. It's been showing more productivity for the facility managers. But in the future, definitely, we're going to create a business case that shows also the gain in the cost. That's it. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias.